Hi everyone, welcome back to our segment. Today we are stepping into the world with confident smiles at Glen Smiles Dental Clinic in Glen Waverley with Dr. Sachin Gamage, the friendly face behind the countless transformed smiles. Hello doctor, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Nice to be here.
Today we are going to talk about a very exciting topic, that's dental treatments stars have had. Before moving on to the topic, I would like to ask a personal question from you, doctor. We personally normally have stars that we admire in our life. Even I have a person that I love to follow on social media and I take inspired from. So do you have any kind of a person like that in your life, doctor?
I think probably LeBron James, who's a famous basketball player. So he comes to mind because, I follow sports, basketball and cricket are the sports I follow.
That's so interesting. So I think each and every one of us have such stars that we admire the most. And sometimes even in family gatherings and even with friends, we talk about those people. So today, as the topic, we are talking about dental treatments stars have had. So first of all, I would like to talk about George Clooney, the American actor and the filmmaker who acted in Ocean's 8, Money Monster and many films. Doctor, can you explain us what treatments did George Clooney had to improve his smile?
Yeah, I think you can see in the first picture, George Clooney's teeth are quite worn. They're discolored. So there's a particular tooth that's a bit darker than the rest. He would probably have had veneers, which are like a covering that goes on top of the tooth. So it's like a porcelain cover. So that's why his teeth are longer, like a better shape in the second picture. They're wider. You can see that even in that transformation, it does improve his appearance and even age-wise, sometimes people look a bit younger when they've had teeth corrected. So this is actually quite an easy thing to correct. Usually he would have just had some porcelain veneers. I think his transformation's done quite well, like his dentist has done his veneers quite well because you don't want to be too unnatural. It's natural but also looks good, so yeah.
Of course, I think it looks very good and very eye-catching to the audience. And also, next up, we have Dua Lipa, a singer and a songwriter who wrote and produced songs like Dance the Night, Raining Season. She's a very familiar and a very admiring character to me personally. So can you tell us about her dental treatments? Like how can her maintain this beautiful smile?
Yeah, I think in the first picture, her teeth are a bit misaligned. You can see some of the teeth are not lined up. So I think it was when she was a bit younger. This sort of treatment probably required some sort of alignment. Usually with clear aligners, we can straighten the teeth into a good position. Sometimes she probably has some tooth whitening and maybe a little bit of fillings to just reshape the teeth. I don't think she necessarily had veneers. So this sort of transformation is quite suitable for someone that's younger where their teeth are good. They just need some alignment, some tooth whitening and some bonding. So it makes a big difference. It makes the smile look better and it's not a difficult treatment to do, and also it's minimally invasive. So that's probably what she did have, and it has made a difference between the first picture and the second picture.
Yeah, so you talked about the difference between those treatments, and I need to ask, is it different in ages and also to gender? Like the treatments?
Not necessarily. One is with younger people, we want to be less invasive. So I think one of the tenets of dental treatment is to be minimally invasive. You don't want to cut down teeth too much to achieve that smile. So we want to do the least possible treatment to get the outcome. In younger people, we want to be more minimally invasive because they have longer time to sort of deal with the teeth. Sometimes the nerve that's inside the tooth is closer to the surface than an older person. So we have to make those considerations. But in terms of the actual treatment, it depends on what they present with. So if they have misalignment, they might need some braces or clear aligners, which can be done at any age, as long as the teeth are healthy. Whitening can be done at any age, whereas it does respond better to younger people. So the treatment does change a little bit with age. I don't think gender necessarily would impact. It's more, I guess, what they present with and sort of being less invasive in younger people is, yeah.
And doctor, is it one-time treatment or is it a series of treatments? Like, do we have to do it often or?
Well, yeah, so it depends on the treatment. So with tooth whitening, which is like a gel that's applied to the teeth, it does get darker again after about 2 years, so they may last roughly that duration. Whereas with porcelain veneers, the thing is, nothing lasts forever, but the thing is, something like porcelain veneers, which George Clooney probably had, they can last sort of 10-15 years without having an issue. So they're quite durable, so they're not necessarily things you have to do often. And with Dua Lipa, she might have had some alignment that was done, which straightens the teeth. We can usually give a retainer to wear at nighttime that will keep the teeth in place. So it's there'll be follow-up treatments, as said, like reviews and things like that, but it's not something that necessarily has to be done unless there's an issue. So
Next up, I want to ask a question that audience is very interested in. Can we get those treatments done in our nearest local dentist?
yes, so it depends on the dentist if they provide those services, but there are a lot of dentists in Australia that provide clear aligners, even like porcelain veneers and things like that. So it's quite possible that your local dentist will provide it. At Glensmiles, we provide a lot of those cosmetic treatment. Like we take quite an interest in providing cosmetics, especially alignment and those sort of things, but also porcelain veneers and things. And I think there are a lot of dentists that will provide it, and even if they don't, they'll refer you to a dentist that will do those sort of cosmetic treatments. So it's quite all right to go to your local dentist and have a conversation about what can be done with them.
That's all for today. Thank you so much, Dr. Gamage, for joining with us today and sharing your insights.
Okay, thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Doctor. And a small reminder to you all, the audience that is watching us, a brighter smile starts with a good care. Thank you and have a wonderful day.